right. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahasam Chakudash. I want to give double honor to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings as well as health and wellness to the house of David the elect. All right. I'm Zahar Spirit. We're in Judah. And today I would like to go into a live stream entitled Our Laws or Our Ways Shield Us from Babylon. And this topic came out with a discussion that I myself had with the brother Kazak and the brother Ayash. All right. And he was, he was like, hey brother, that's a good idea to do a lesson. And I agree. It's a good idea that he shot to me. Our ways, our laws shield us from Babylon, man. When I say our laws, primarily, the laws, statutes, and commandments are the so-called laws of Moses, per se. All right, but also you have our ways, those statutes, those laws of etiquette. The book of Sirach, the book of Proverbs. That combined with the laws of Moses, collectively, that is our law, that is our way, right? And it's a very superior way, and it yields dignified sons and daughters of Yahweh Bashma Shai. It's the reverse. It's quite the opposite of Babylon. See, Babylon, the ways of Babylon, the liberties of Babylon. All right, because I'm not gonna say laws of Babylon. There's really no law in Babylon. All right, there's liberties in Babylon. The liberties in Babylon yield degeneracy. All right, the liberties in Babylon, they yield degeneracy, but the laws of Yasha Allah, they produce, all right, superiority. They produce peace. They produce life. They engender life. Okay, those restrictions in which Esau Edom so childishly interprets as a form of oppression. Those restrictions are that delayed gratification. All right, that discipline. All right, that produces life. All right, it yields something. All right, everything yields fruit. A fruit is like an outcome. Fruit is an outcome. Everything yields fruit. All right, so Babylon, all right, it yields the fruit of degeneracy. All right, it yields the fruit of death. All right, whereas Jerusalem, all right, our way, it yields the fruit of not only righteousness but life. All right, peace, structure, order. All right, but you were taught, as well as myself, you were taught that those laws, I grew up in the so-called churches. All right, that the law is done away with. All right, which is not true. Those laws engender righteousness, and what you will fully understand, all right, when you implement those laws in real time. All right, you have to implement those laws when we exist as a sovereign nation. Christianity by default works as an American citizen because you're not following the laws of your power, you're following the laws of the powers that be. So when you go to court, you're being judged by the powers that be, or be it a speeding ticket or whatever it may be. Okay, but the point is, all right, our way, it shields us from Babylon, from death, man. Babylon, America produces death. Everything is surrounded by death. Everything revolves around death, man. All right, our food, the food here in America, it kills you. All right, how can you have high blood pressure, diabetes, strokes, heart attacks from putting food into your body? Because that food has been tainted with death. Or how can you have such a high divorce rate, a high infidelity rate, all right, high abortion, all right, gender wars from men and women, when men and women were created to come together and create a union? All right, a union, which the word union is where we get, it's synonymous with unity. All right, it wasn't supposed to be this damn deep, all right, between a man and a woman, man. You're cultured to know your role as a man, and she's cultured to know her role as a woman. Then you come together and create harmony. All right, you can have a band, right? Now this band didn't have to grow up together, all right? But each band member knows his key. He knows when to come in. He knows when to play his piece. They don't have to know each other. They don't have to grow up knowing each other, but they all know their position in this musical, man. And it creates harmony. All right? Our way shields us from Babylon, and essentially loud ass boat, man. You know, and essentially, and there's no motor in a chariot, man. But going back to the lesson, our way shield us from death, man. It shields us from Babylon. And it reminds me of Elam in America. It reminds me of Ishmael in America, all right? Because they're here in Babylon, but they still reserve their way. And by doing that, unless they acculturate, all right, fully assimilate into this way, by doing that, they still reserve themselves in hell. So yeah, they're in the belly of the beast, but they're using their ways, which reserves them, man. All right? Well, there's power in that. When you can maintain your existence, that's power, man. Because the laws within the laws are systems. The systems are put in place to self-sustain. When you have a valid system, for lack of better words, when you have a functioning system, all right, then that entity can self-sustain. See, the laws can self-sustain, man, because no matter what king you have put into power within our nation, he's basically enforcing those laws, statutes, and commandments given to us, all right, by way of Yahweh Shai through Moses, man, all right, on that mountain, okay. But all that king doing is implementing that system that was here before him, all right. Whereas in the kingdom, all right, the laws are going to be placed into our minds. The system is going to be in our minds, you see. But the point is still the same, man. It's not just these laws that you just dismiss in the churches, man. In the so-called churches, you just dismiss, you know, like so-called Jesus saved us from that oppressive law, man. All right. No, he saved us from our sin because we couldn't keep the laws fully, but we were still under the laws during the time of Yahweh Shai. We were still under the laws during the time of the apostles. How could they have had, what's that, Acts 2? All right. So Acts 2, they had the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It was one of those high holy days, Salak, that I can't remember. All right. Sometime around the Passover, man. So you can't dismiss the laws because those laws are the pillars within your nation. It's not like America. No, we were sustaining ourselves and governing ourselves off the laws of Moses, man. All right, point blank, period, man. All right, but that's pretty much the point, man. All right, our laws preserve us, man. And one of the things that comes to mind is lust. This is the city of lust. Babylon is a city of lust. You know how many Israelite men and women have gotten themselves in fucked up situations because of lust, but they've had the liberty to fulfill their lust. Obey your thirst, man. Don't you know it's a beast inside of you, man? All right, that's why most women, let's say they freaks, they promiscuous, at some point they're going to go lesbian, man. They're going to do all type of shit because that nature inside of you, it builds a tolerance, and once you fulfill it, then it wants to feed itself even more, and that's the nature of your flesh, that it just degenerates until it kills you, man. You know, same thing with men, man. All right, because you know Jake was never taught to master their lust, man. But the way of our forefathers, not only did it embrace, all right, marriage, which that was part of the laws, is to put a man and a woman together. But the scriptures also says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman, desire her not for pleasure. Now, you can't beat yourself up as a man for looking at a woman wearing some tight, loud stuff. That's just your natural reaction to a woman who's basically wearing the attire of a harlot. But one of the things that our ways shield us from and exhorts us about is lust. Another thing which spawns from lust is adultery, man. It's second nature for a nigga to commit adultery, man. It's second nature for a woman to blindside her man, okay? But we have a law that prohibits adultery, man. All right? I think about the time in this truth, the time I've been in this truth, which is only through the grace and mercy of Yahweh Shai. What would I have got myself to if it weren't for the laws of our forefathers, man? Where the hell would I be if it weren't for the laws of our forefathers? Going off my own nature, man. Right, living like a little pagan, man, a little primitive being, man. All right, those laws, these laws, that's an adult. These laws produces an adult, man. That's a child to follow a philosophy that doesn't require discipline, man. That's a child, man. All right, that's why Esau, Edom, it says they that are younger than I. You go back to that word younger, it goes back to indignus, which means less in ranking, man. That's what a real degenerate is, man. All right, if you look at the word degenerate, it goes back to departing from the ways of your ancestors, man. All right, but even Esau, Edom is a Hebrew, so his ancestors go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. I'm sorry, Abraham and Isaac, okay? So when he was first on earth, he kept the laws, man. But he's a degenerate, man. All right? He's a degenerate, man, but that's a childish kingdom. All right, that's a childish kingdom where there's no law, all right? And our ways preserve us, man. Even beyond the laws of Moses, all right? It's through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, all right, hopping on the apostles, all right? They anchored us back into our nationality through relying on Yahweh Bashma Shai's creation for our sustenance, man. All right, so we rely on Yahweh Bashma Shai, all right, for the herbs. All right, now we understand that, because, hey, like I said, our ways protect us from America, it protects us from Babylon, essentially it protects us from death. We know that when we get sick, we go back to Amaratazah, man. All right, Amaratazah. Our earth is our clothing, man. This is, hey, and we gotta take that ownership too. This is our planet, man. This is our planet, man. This is our planet, man. All right, this is our planet. All right. But going back to our nationality, look, think how long some of you brothers have been in this truth. What you've been saved from just by relying on the earth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai to cure your ailments, man. As it says in Sirach 38, medicines come of the earth. All right. Now we know it's essential, all right, to put herbs into you, man. All right, not just when you get sick. It's a daily regimen, putting earth back into your temple, man. All right. Who would we be if we did? I didn't know about herbs, man. All right. Who would we be if we never went from pharmaceuticals to herbs? Who would we be if we never followed the dietary law? Who would we be if the spirit didn't hop on us to start letting go of processed food, man? That's a Babylonian thing. Yeah, that shit might not be a sin to eat, but it's processed. It didn't come from the earth, man. Which means it didn't come from Yahweh Bashma Shai. Now you're gonna have your days where you indulge, but that shouldn't be your everyday thing, man. All right? You are your heritage, man. Your lifestyle is your heritage, man. All right, going back to earth though, man. All right, you know how much we've been preserved just by relying on the earth. All right, you know, and they got the juicers in the blenders, man. All right, but this goes into the virtues of roots. So a lot of us, because how we were raised, our palate, we're not very receptive to eating beetroot by itself or eating ginger or turmeric, man. But like we got blenders, man. All right, man's going is of the Most High. So that's our way of eating healthy in Babylon, man. You could chop up your beetroot, your ginger, your turmeric, all right, and your different fruit, right? But you could keep the peel of the fruit in the blender too. You were taught to discard the peel, but there's more minerals in the peel than the fruit in a lot of cases. It's more vitamins, minerals, and nutrients in the seed in a lot of cases, because the seed, that's a source of light. Or even me and our anatomy, all right, our lower parts, all right, it contains our life force, all right? The testicles, that's the seed. That's the harbinger, all right, of your seed, man. All right, and once you release that, what happens? You're drained, you're tired. What's the same thing with fruit? All the life is in the fruit, on the seed of the fruit, man. All right, so we put all that in the blender, but we wouldn't know that. I can speak for myself, because some brothers and sisters might have been health conscious before they came into the knowledge, but I didn't know about the herbs, man. All right, our way, our heritage, and we should have that national pride, and we should have that entitlement. This is our earth, man. This is our earth, man. Right? This is not his fucking earth. Just like you walking around with a dog, right? You're an Israelite with a dog, but Esau carries himself like you walking his dog, man. Like he could be a better caretaker than you, man. This our animals, man. There's our lion, there's our tiger, there's our bear, there's our zebra. Now I'm not finna go walk up on a lion. It's something called good judgment, good sense. But that's ours, man. All right? That's why we got to get this counselor out the way, man. Or pray to Yahweh Shema Shai that he sends his son Yahweh Shai to get this counselor out the way. It's more than Yahweh Shai getting his lick back from the Romans. Yahweh Shai he's Captain Planet. He's here to save humanity. All right, he's here to save his nation, his people, his elect. But by doing that, by getting the counselor out the way, he's essentially saving humanity. Did it not say in Romans 8, hey, the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the sons of the living power, basically to come back in power? It's Romans 8. You know, I'm chopping it up horribly. But the other nations are waiting on us to come back in power, man. Because they're being oppressed through this damn devil, man. All right? And we're so caught up in the concrete jungle that we don't have a connection to this earth, man. But your earth is under attack, man. Meaning your house is under attack, man. All right? Our ways preserve us, man. Even being around brothers, man. Some of us were loners before we came into the truth. Or a lot of fucking psychological problems you have because you're a fucking loner, man. And I know this from experience, man. A lot of fucking psychological problems you have is from being by yourself all damn time. Now, the Most High gave us the brotherhood, not just to, get drunk and chase women all day, but just that camaraderie. That camaraderie, man, doing a lesson together, man. Pop a bottle of wine, like the incense, man, that restores your spirit, man. The Esau Edom does a study on blue zones, which blue zones are parts of the world, Shalom to you, parts of the world people live the longest, right? And one of the things they all have in common, they all have something called communion. They all come together as a village and they spend time together, whether it's a form of worship or just being around each other. That increases life in you, man. It's certain things that Esau Edom doesn't get into, and I think it's because he can't put parameters on it, he can't measure it. But like being around people you love, that increases your life expectancy, man. All right? But that's part of our culture, man, getting together. Not the camp, brothers might get together and eat, man. We shouldn't neglect things like that, man. Now, granted, you have times where you dip out with your woman or you have to handle business, but just in general, we have to have a time when we're around each other, man, because we all we got, man. We got to cultivate that, man. All right? That's not healthy that, either you're in front of a TV all the time or you're in front of a computer all the time. You got to get back connected to other people who think like you, other men who think like you, all right? But also get connected with nature. Now, some brothers are more outgoing than others, but that's just the diversity of the body, all right? But some of those demons that you battle in your mind, all right, is because you by yourself all the damn time, man, all right? Whether it's things that happened to your past, your traumas, or negative things, or things L's you took and it's playing back over your mind. All right, through the spirit, you got to be around me of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, prayer. Imagine how fucked up we'll be if we didn't know the name of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, and we couldn't pray to it, man. Anointing. Okay. You see, our heritage. Excuse my French. It's the shit, man. Our heritage is better than everybody's heritage on the planet Earth. All right? Well, we've inherited from, going back to Adam, really back to Adam, the ways the Most High gave to Adam, and he breathed into Adam. All right? He breathed the law, statutes, and commandment into Adam. But then that trickled on down into our forefather Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. What they received, man, it's only for princes and princesses. It's only for royalty. And not only is it royal, it reserves, man. You have systems that produce life. Brother got a scripture, is Hebrews 12:25. Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching. All right, the water, Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Yahweh thy power have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. All right. That's right. A special people unto himself, man. It's as though he made all nations, but we're like his firstborn. We're his firstborn. So what happens with the firstborn? They get sacrificed back to the Most High. Deuteronomy 7:7, Yahweh did not set his love upon you, nor chose you because you were more in number than any people, for you were the fewest of all people. But because Yahweh loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, have Yahweh brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. All right, the water and Khan. You see? This is our planet, man. That series that is on Netflix and YouTube, Our Planet. Not Our Planet, man. Our planet, man. You see? And half of the things, a lot of the things that come from my heritage, it comes directly from the earth. And one of the things that personally I like exploring is how to utilize the planet Earth to sustain our people, man. To make it conducive for our people, such as these different occupations that really they're utilized by way of utilizing the planet Earth, or they're manifested by, for example, a farmer, agriculture. You're just utilizing the Lord's earth to feed your people. All right. I can't forget about lumberjacks, because before you have a carpenter to build a house, well, you need lumberjacks, all right, to chop down the trees, man. What about fishermen? All right. What about, like I said, you have farmers who contain cattle. All right, they take that wool from the sheep, and now you have men and women who could, I forget the actual word, but use the wool to make clothing. All right, take those dairy goats, all right, those dairy sheep, and make milk. And it tells you that milk is one of the principal things of life to man. All right, all right. See, I meditate on these things because one of the beliefs is that the only way is through Esau Edom, man. Though through our ways, we have that as well. Every nation has that. But not only that, those people have to be governed, and that's what we come in to hopefully elect. We're the governors of our people. When the Most High said, we're princes, all right, that's just not to be royal. Like, okay, we're royal. No, you have to implement a law, all right, to your people, and essentially to the planet Earth, because the planet Earth essentially is going to be governed by the laws, statutes, and commandments, because all Israel is going to have the laws, statutes, and commandments, all right, implemented in their minds. All right, point blank, period, man. All right, First Peter 2:9. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Come on, man. All right, that's pretty much the point, man. Our ways preserve us, man. All right, moderation. All right, because you could drink liquor, you could drink your wine, but through our laws, the scripture tells you wine drunken in moderation is good, man. Wine is good as life to man if it be drunken in moderation, man. All right, not going out so much, Like I said, brothers have different spirits when it comes to that. But Babel, you shouldn't enter the matrix so much till it starts to take you, man. It should, because pleasing your flesh feels good, but that comes with a cost, and it comes with your oil drying up, your spirit drying up. See, our nation, our heritage is all about cultivating the spirit. All right, but you have to, through moderation, give some type of license to your flesh, man. All right, but you can't get addicted to that, man. To the point where you're a stranger in the spirit, man. All right, you're absent in the spirit, you see? All right? But our way preserves us, man. Like I said, imagine if we didn't know about adultery, man. Imagine if we didn't have ways to shield us from lust. Imagine if we didn't know about the herbs that come from the earth, man. Imagine if we didn't know about the dietary law, man. Brothers, it's been this truth a couple years, 2, 3 years, 5, 10, 15 years. Imagine if you went that length of time and you hadn't changed anything about yourself, man. The reason why these laws are so hard, even for a lot of Israelites, or you see a lot of skin-only Israelites, because that's a burden to them, man. Fully embracing the law is a burden because they can't get rid of the old man, because they know the old man has too much fun in captivity in Babylon, man. Like I said, let's not get it twisted. Rome is lit. America is lit, man. If America doesn't know anything else, America know how to have a good time. America, because it tells you it's going to be like the days of Noah, right? America knows how to have a good time, so it's perfectly orchestrated to please your flesh. So a lot of jakes that come into the knowledge, they're gonna find that Israelite camp that doesn't require them to fully convert to Yahweh Shema Shai. You can wear your fringes, you can have your little marred beard and your little dreadlocks, all right, and your mind is still not converted, man. But you're just doing all the traditions of our fathers, but you're not spiritually converted, man. All right, and you'll still get entangled into this stuff because you haven't spiritually converted. All right, but when you fully convert to your really to your Yahweh Shema Shai, all right, you're disconnected from your Babylon. As it says in Proverbs 18, a man having separated himself, seeking intermeddle with all wisdom, man. All right? But that's pretty much it. I'm gonna draw this live stream to a close, and I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. I enjoyed your spirit, been on this live stream. All right, like I said, this came by way of a conversation we had last night. All right. And that's another thing. We get together, then we start talking, then we start talking in the spirit. Let's see, lessons get done the next day, man, or within the next few days, man. All right, that's positive. See? And I want to say this too. Esau, Edom, the things that he glorifies, such as nigger culture and being a demon, you got to ask yourself sometimes, what does that produce? Because Satan, he knows how to appeal to the flesh. But what's the outcome? What's the outcome? Okay, he appealed to Eve with this liberty and you being a damn goddess. But what did that produce 50 years later, man? Loneliness, bitterness, being fat, all right? Being mad, being chemically imbalanced, spiritually imbalanced. Esau, Edom, he promoted being a street nigga to you, man. But every generation of niggas got the same story, man. Don't do what I did, man. Don't make mistakes, the same mistakes I did when I was young and dumb and wild. Nobody learned from the last generation, man. All right? Putting all your energy in college and that's it. But now you are, so many thousands of dollars in debt, man. All right? What does this produce, man? All right? We have an earth that we're about to obtain. Now we have to be kingdom-minded to be ready and prepared to not only inherit the earth, but to inherit existence, man. With that, I hope you brothers and sisters are edified. To the next time, shalom.